Good evening, Steel City. Welcome to the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Our 44th edition will be live from the original podcast room of the Black and Gold Paraphernalia. On today's special primetime edition show, the Pittsburgh Steelers are now 7-2 behind some great coaching by Mike Tomlin. They beat the Commanders Sunday in an instant classic. Let's give Mike Tomlin his due here with coaching job for the ages and maybe head coach of the year. The Steelers now will head into the AFC North rival lineup, and the schedule is starting with Baltimore this Sunday with this game for first place in the AFC North. Hashtag, here we go. Pitt dropping fast out of the NCAA rankings, lost their second straight in a row, while Penn State bounced back from the Ohio State loss, and West Virginia quietly has bounced back with 2 straight wins. I will go over the college scene here in the Pittsburgh area. The Pitt Panthers men's basketball team is now 3-0 with a player named Ishmael Leggett leading the way now as a starter. Coming off the bench last year, he was named the ACC Sixth Man of the Year award winner. Hashtag H2P. Pittsburgh Penguins GM has announced everyone is available except Captain Sidney Crosby, who has become the NHL's leader in winning faceoffs. He's in the history books again, and are the Penguins waving the proverbial hockey terrible towel on this 24-25 season. Well, he's back. Pitching phenom, must-appointment watch TV pitcher Paul Skeens has been named a finalist for the NL Cy Young Award and NL Rookie of the Year awards. Will he win? Will he win one? Will he win both? Will he win none? I will go over this awesome situation. Mr. Skeens is in. I will start the show right off with our tremendous sponsors, Planet Jerky, Premium Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on another planet. Seal the Deal Wax Seals, Wax Stamps. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. And IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports and why we are doing this. This is the Yinzer Report. Welcome, Steel City. Please come join me on my 44th episode live. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Well, good evening, everybody. This is Ralph Calise, your host for the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And we're on a different time slot tonight, and it's actually called prime time, I guess. So I get my chance here at a nighttime show, and I thank Larry B and the IE Sports Radio team for hooking me up with this chance. It's been a crazy week. The reason why the show was rescheduled was because I did have a trip planned to go away with the wife, and it suddenly got canceled due to a very, very close friend's loss that happened the morning we were actually leaving to go to Florida. And we took away the trip. We canceled the trip, and our friends in need of their family member that had passed was more important than going on the trip. So actually the show being rescheduled at this point actually came in very handy. So thoughts and prayers out to our family member that had passed. I don't want to mention any names on air, but they all know who it is if they're listening. And thank you again to IE Sports Radio for the rescheduling of the show. All right, so those were our sponsors there. The Great Planet Jerky, brisket beef jerky, the Planet Jerky that's the best on the planet. Be sure to check those guys out. Get some Planet Beef Jerky for your upcoming football Sundays. And, of course, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. Like she said in the, Jen B., our Cleveland host said in the sponsor there, if you just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch, maybe you just wrote a letter, a relative or a friend, and you want to add the smile when they receive it, you can then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for those invitations, letters, gifts, and like the slogan goes, you bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. So check those people out. And, of course, IE Sports Radio. As you can see up here in the back, there is some merch. You can go on iesportsradio.com, shop, and I'll put that up for you right here on the bottom on the ticker. You can get some nice sweatshirts for the winter coming up, and just T-shirts to wear around the house if you want. All right, so we last left you. It was last Sunday, and the Steelers were on a bye week, and they came in and they played the Commanders on Sunday. But the thing to talk about here is we got to talk about Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin. Now, I'm going to say this because I know there's a lot of fans of mine, a lot of friends of mine who are fans of the Steelers, and they not really, not that they don't like Mike Tomlin, but they're not happy with the way he coaches. And I am one who has stood by Mike Tomlin for all the years he's been a Steeler coach. I really think he's a great coach. But we have to talk about the job he's done this year with this team. The team is 7-2. They are in first place in the AFC North. And this Steeler fan here had no idea that this was going to be their record after 9 games. I thought they were going to be a 500 team. And I thought at this point, and then just, towards the end of the year, get past what Mike Tomlin was going to be, keep his winning record as a coach for the 18th straight year. But not this year, man. This has started from camp. This has started from camp. As you know, I go to camp every year. And he laid the groundwork in camp. And he started it from camp. And he started it when he said Russell Wilson will play when Russell Wilson is ready. And he never, ever appointed a quarterback who was going to be the starter. So the season came and Justin Fields started, and Justin Fields was coached up. Justin Fields was coached up to the way he was supposed to play, as the Steelers wanted him. He won 4 out of 6 games. And I don't know if anybody saw the show where I had to rant on Mike Tomlin, which was very out of character for me because you would never see that happen with me with Mike Tomlin. And like I said, my friends who are my good friends that are all Steeler fans out there are probably gonna hit me up after the show and say, why do you keep praising this guy? But I am a big Mike Tomlin fan, and what he has done with this team so far this year, it's got to be warranted for a look at Coach of the Year. I mean, it started out with the quarterbacks. He handled the quarterback situation very well. His coaches with their input. The time when he was ready to pull the plug on Justin Fields when Russell Wilson was ready to come back, and he went and he did that on his own. And for all those people out there who thought that was the wrong move, I don't know. I think you better go back and look at why he did it and look into it more, because like I've been saying, if you don't listen to, you have to listen to Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin will tell you everything in his press conferences, in his after press conferences for the games, and every other thing he says. You got to listen to him. He's took this team, like I said. Now, the offensive line suffered some injuries at the beginning of the year. We lost our rookie tackle, and he hadn't played all year. And he realigned the offensive line with rookies, and the rookies have played well. Then we lost, like I said, we lost the center. He was a rookie to begin with, and we had a backup center in there. And every bad thing that has been thrown at Mike Tomlin, he has accomplished it. There was a point in the season where George Pickens, the wide receiver, was playing limited possessions. Russell Wilson came in, and George Pickens has been on the field every play. He did that for a reason. He did that because Justin Fields was not a throwing quarterback like Russell Wilson is. Russell Wilson could throw that deep ball. Justin Fields couldn't. I mean, he did throw it sometimes, but you could see he was a little off on his throws when he was challenged to do that as the quarterback. So Mike Tomlin has overcome many things this year. You can go back and look at it. His defense, of course, I think has won maybe 4 out of the 7 games. They were playing awesome at the beginning of the year. I think in the first 4 games they were giving up only 15.5 points a game, and it's just Mike Tomlin. I just him and his coaches this year, more Mike Tomlin because he's running the team. It's been just a crazy ride with Mike Tomlin, and he's done everything he's needed to do to get this team to 7-2, which I don't believe anybody, if you're even out there and you want to listen and comment, believe that they would be 7-2 at this time. So Sunday came after the bye week, and like I said, the Steelers were in first place at the bye week, and Baltimore had played Thursday night, so they won. They beat the Bengals, so they were sitting there with 7 wins, and the Steelers came in with 7. They already had 6 wins, so they came off the bye week, and like I said last week, if you watched the show, the toughest schedule in the NFL for a second half is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it started out with the Commanders Sunday, a team with a superstar rookie quarterback. I call him the rookie superstar quarterback. And Mike Tomlin came into the arena dressed up with his black Air Force One sneakers. Now, he only wears those sneakers at a game when he wants to make a statement. So he was seen walking into the stadium with his patented black Nike Air Force Ones, which usually means a statement. And he when he wears them, he's like I said, he wants to win the game. He's out there to win the game. And like I wrote down here, I wrote some notes down, and I wrote down if you're going to question the coach's switch from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson, you should consider the wisdom of the move right about now, which is true. You have to you have to say it's the right move. Russell Wilson is 3-0, and he won 2 games at home to start. He had the bye week, and he came back, and he led the comeback for the Commanders. I'm sorry, for the Steelers versus the Commanders Sunday. Russell Wilson looks right now like the guy he was when he played earlier in Seattle in his career, especially with those 50-50 deep balls and connecting on them. And the win Sunday for Russell Wilson was his 40th career comeback, and that's second active in the NFL right now. The other quarterback who was ahead of him is Kirk Cousins on the Falcons. So he's got that in his back pocket. He shook off his first interceptions in 11 months in that game versus the Commanders. Then hit the trade deadline pickup he hit Mike Williams for a 32-yard TD with less than 2.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And it was his third TD pass of the game, and he led the Steelers to a 28-27 stirring win over the Commanders. But his best play of the game, I'll talk about it coming up, was at the end. So this, like I said, now the Steelers have won 3 in a row, all quarterbacked by Russell Wilson. Pickens is starting. He started the scoring Sunday with an unbelievable acrobatic contorting catch, as they described it on the game cast there on CBS. It was a 16-yard pass. Pat Frymuth scored on a pass from 3 yards out on a 3rd and goal. And the special teams did their part in the win. But this time it was a good and bad part for the special teams. The bad part was they tried a fake punt on their own 16-yard line. And actually it would have worked. The guy was wide open, but James Pierre dropped the pass from Miles Killebrew on the fake punt on their own 16-yard line. This is what I'm saying about Mike Tomlin's coaching. And we're going to get into more of the coaching and what he did in this game. It's just every move he's pushing the right button, and it's paying off for this team. So that was the bad. The good was, I believe, the next drive when the Commanders punted, the Steelers recovered a fumble on the special teams, and the guy who recovered the fumble, I think his name is Ben Schwarnock, he picked up the ball and ran straight to the sidelines and handed it to the special teams coach, Danny Smith. Just an unbelievable show of respect for a coach. So, yeah, the Commanders then took the game over. It was 14-7. It was 14-7 Steelers. And after that, they got to halftime, and the Commanders were up. They were up by 10. They were up 24-14. So, I'm sorry, they were up 24-14 in the third quarter. So the Steelers were down 10 points. They were down 10 points going into the third quarter. It was an ugly and messy game. Like I said, they failed on the fake punt. There was a goal line fumble, and they were down 6 points. They had an interception. They had Russell Wilson's interception, but it actually worked out as a punt for them. And they were down. Starting cornerback, Deshaun Elliott, got hurt in the third quarter. And Alex Highsmith, man, it was an ugly play. I don't know if anybody saw it out there, but his ankle really twisted the wrong way. And that was in the fourth quarter. And they, like I said, they trailed 24-14 in the third quarter, and the penalties were insane. Joey Porter had 4 penalties. Joey Porter is the star cornerback. He's in his second season at the Steelers. He's their lockdown cornerback, and he had 4 penalties just on himself against Tyler McLaughlin on the Redskins. So he had you want to say he had a bad game, but I don't know. The defense, like I said, they always come up in the end and they do the right thing. Like I said, it was an ugly and messy game, but sometimes you got to win those types. The Steelers are the kings of the one-possession games. They are 4-2 this season. Like I mentioned, the 4 penalties by Joey Porter, the fake punt. Tomlin said on the fake punt, "This one's on me. I'll do it again, and I own it." And so, he's got the special teams going with Danny Smith. And like I said at the beginning, it's great. Now he's coached in. He's coached in the 2 new guys that they just got last week. So they're being coached in, and they had big plays in the game. Preston Smith had an 11-yard tackle for a loss, which turned out to be a sack. And that was the first play of the fourth quarter as Washington was driving. And then, of course, he hit Mike Williams with the 32-yard game-winning TD catch with 2:22 left on the clock. So right off the bat, guys that they traded for come in and help it out. And it was a great game. Like I said at the beginning, it was an instant classic. And the Steelers, they wound up winning it. And the worst turnover by the Steelers is what I jotted down here had to be the fake punt deep in its own territory in the first quarter. Like I said, the snap went to up-back Miles Killebrew, who threw a wide-open pass to James Pierre, but he dropped it. That gave Washington possession at the Pittsburgh 16-yard line, and 3 plays later, the Washington Commanders, they ran it in. And like I just said, that's on me. I'll do it again. Tomlin said we didn't execute it, so it was a bad idea. He's calling it an idea. He's giving the ball to the other team on the 15-yard line, at 16-yard line. He's calling it a bad idea. So I just, again, with this was the play of the game right now. Mike Tomlin, with the black Air Force Ones on, they kept showing him on the sideline. I have a feeling he's got to be in the voting for Coach of the Year. He said to Mike Williams after the TD catch, "You're a Steeler now, Mike Williams." You can see it. It's out there on sound bites all over social media. It's great. The 4th and 1. Now, they had a 4th and 1. I think it was like on their own 46-yard line. It was either punt the ball back to the Commanders and give them another chance to get into field goal range to kick the winning field goal, or you go for it. So I'm watching the game with my son, and we're sitting there, we're like, he's not going to go for this. He's got to punt the ball. His defense is going to win the game for us again. This has been happening every week. And what does he do? They're lining up. They call timeout. They're lining up. And everybody knows, okay? Everybody knows that they're just going to do it to draw the guy offside, draw somebody offside. So the 4th and 1 to kill the clock came and win the game. Wilson, with Tomlin's call and Wilson's cadence, done. They did it. They got a guy on the Washington defense to jump off sides. Happened to be a rookie. So veteran Russell Wilson, Mike Tomlin, all his coaching, that's what I'm saying. His coaching is just, it's another coaching play he could stick in his hat. And that was it. 5-yard penalty. I think it was 4th and 1. First down, victory formation. Russell Wilson's doing dancing on the field with the hand moves, whatever he was doing. And Mike Tomlin was on the sideline, very excitingly on the sideline. It was shown by CBS afterwards, screaming, "Got him!" Now he's got these dark sunglasses on, and he had the Nike Air Force black ones on. He was on the sideline, shown by CB Woods, screaming, "Got him!" Bang! He gives the fist pump, and then he starts waving his coach's game card, like goodbye, like as a statement, like that's it. We got him. We won the game, and yeah, it was a crazy ending. Like I said, it was a classic game. Things were happening on basically every play, as everybody knows. Football is the only sport where maybe you can count up to 5 or 6 different things happening on every play. And, every play it happened. And now coming up are the Baltimore Ravens. And I don't know if everybody's been listening to my shows. I guess even before I was on StreamYard here, when I was on Spreaker, I used to talk about the AFC North games, how they are the best games of football. And the AFC North, in my opinion, is the best division in football. These games this game coming up is for first place. And as Hines Ward said once, they don't like us. We sure don't like them. And these games, they produce all kinds of hitting, all kinds of jarring, who smells blood first and last. And these are just two teams that respect one another, but don't like one another. So you know how that could lead up into a game. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, you don't have to say a whole lot more. And this game is for first place in the AFC North. So that's coming up Sunday. And it's in Pittsburgh. And it's going to be a real big test for the Steelers and to how far they could take it. Because if they win this game, they'll be actually 2 games up in the division because they'll have the head-to-head win versus Baltimore, and they'll have the game lead over them. So Sunday's going to be a big day for Steelers football. It's Steelers-Ravens, AFC North football. And let's get to the comments, as I see there are many here. And let's see. Here we go. Adam Karnick, first one on the board. Good evening, Ralph. Steelers and Bears are about to make history Sunday. I like that, Adam. I hope you're right. Terran Rodriguez, good evening, Ralph. Have an amazing show. Yes, sir. Thank you. I watched your show. It was great as usual. And thanks again for all the shout-outs and playing my drop. Danny Mann, my nephew is out there. Hey, buddy. Skeens for Rookie of the Year and Cy Young. All right, yeah, we're going to get into that. And Danny Mann's dad, Raymond Mann, have a great show. Yes, sir. Hope you guys are all right out there. We have Big Mike from our Indiana Sports Show. Have a great show, brother. Yes, sir. Thank you. I caught your show as well. And I thank you for playing my drop. That was a good show. Adam Karnick, what is it like never having a losing season? Oh, boy. Adam, my answer to you to that is I haven't experienced one. As you know, Mike Tomlin is 17 years in a row with a losing season. But like I mentioned at the beginning, a lot of Steeler fans are hatred towards Mike Tomlin because he can't win the big games. So I've had losing seasons. I'll put it that way in the playoffs. When they lose in the playoffs, that's a losing season to me. And there's been I think 3 in a row now with Mike Tomlin where he's lost in the playoffs. And all those other years he had winning records, but they didn't make the playoffs. So that would be my answer to that question from you. Mary Shea, good evening, Ralph. Have a good, fantastic show. This is a good time slot. Yes, Miss Mary, I hope you're doing well. This is a good time slot. Let's see what happens. That's all up to the boss at IE Sports Radio. Big Mike, again, never thought I'd see them 7-2 after my Colts beat them. Congrats to them on the battle back. Schedule about to get tough, as you just mentioned. Yes, they did lose to the Colts. That was the first game of the 2-game losing streak when they lost to Dallas afterwards, which, by the way, they were about 5 inches away from winning that game. If the guy's hand was a little bigger, he would have definitely deflected the ball on that last play. But, yes, the Colts beat them with the combination of Anthony Richardson and Joe Flacco because Anthony Richardson got hurt. Danny Mann, let Russ cook. Yes, that is the new saying in Pittsburgh. Let Russ cook. Russell Wilson has been phenomenal, people. This is Adam Karnick. One of the funniest sports radio moments I've heard was a host asking a former D lineman what guys say to each other to keep from jumping off sides. The answer, don't jump, don't effing jump. Yeah, I don't know what this guy was listening to, but I mean, it was quick too. It wasn't. He went up to the line and he maybe said 2 or 3 things. The guy already was offsides. Hey, Mary Shea, will be a good game Sunday. Yes, it will. It's going to be a great game Sunday. I will be on the edge of my seat all game, screaming and yelling. All right, so thank you everybody for tuning into the chat. Let me take a quick break, and when I get back, I'll run through the NCAA football situation in Pittsburgh. And I have a little thing on a Pitt basketball thing. We'll come back, we'll do that, and we'll be back right after this.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
The roar of the crowd, the drama and pageantry, the adrenaline rush and decadence of the world of professional wrestling. Join yours truly, the SoCal Saint, for the best pro wrestling podcast going today, the IE Wrestling Show, exclusively on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Join us every Wednesday from 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, every Wednesday, the IE Wrestling Show. It's just too soon. Woo!
All right, welcome back. This is Ralph Calise, the host of the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all of the sports. Once again, thanks for all the comments in the chat, and thanks for everybody joining. Let's get into the football real quick for the college. And the Pitt Panthers have suddenly hit a losing streak. So they played Virginia at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, and they lost to Virginia. They lost their 18th ranking and are now out of the AP poll top 25 rankings. They had 18 receiving votes to be in the top 25 behind 2 other teams, but they did not make it, so they are out of the top 25. It was their second straight loss after being upset by Virginia. And Virginia, after being challenged by Coach Tony Elliott during its bye week, that's why they can change the trajectory of their season. The Virginia football program and players listened to this by winning the game versus Pitt. They stopped a 3-game losing streak, and it was a 24-19 win over the then ranked 23rd Pitt Panthers Saturday night, and likely ended any chance that the Panthers had of crashing the ACC championship. Pitt out-coached, out-gritted, gave up 170-yard passing, and were held only had 170-yard passing and were held to just 292 yards total in offense. And Tony Elliott, the Virginia head coach, that was a week and a minute, and lots of reflecting to look into the mirror. And his team came out and played really well, and they beat the Pitt Panthers Our Pitt Panthers here at home with the inflated Sharks swaying around as well have been deflated. QB Eli Holstein was lost to an injury on a late high hit while trying to slide. The hit was made by UVA Mike Diatta, a redshirt freshman who was ejected for targeting. And basically, that was the end of Pitt. So they have some regrouping to do to get into a bowl game, which I'm sure they'll get invited to a bowl game, but we'll see what happens. All right, next up is Penn State. This game they handled Washington easy. And the notes I took out of this game, I wrote Washington, just another NCAA team that falls victim to the realignment, playing and traveling coast to coast, west to east this time. Played in front of a glowing whiteout crowd, keeping their college football playoffs hope alive. Penn State, they won this game as Warren scored 2 TDs, and Penn State routed Washington 35-6. The 29-point victory ties Penn State's second largest victory in a whiteout game since it began the tradition in 2004. Katron Allen had 98 yards and now has a rushing TD in 5 of his last 6 games. Penn State has now won 28 consecutive games versus unranked opponents dating back to 2021. Just mention of the Tyler Warren, who was one of the 3 finalists for the 2024 Horning Award. That's for the best tight end in football. Scored 2 TDs, both inside the 5-yard line, making it his first game with multiple TDs. Leaping and bullying his way to the 2 TDs, he also had 8 catches, 75 yards. And like I said, he ran for 2 DTs. He also is a Mackey Award semifinalist. That's the top tight end award in the league. The Horning Award is the most versatile player in college football. So Penn State bounced back from that loss from Ohio State, and their record now is 8-1, and they are 5-1 in the conference. So their hopes for the NCAA championship are still out there. And last but not least, the West Virginia Mountaineers, they now have won 2 in a row, and it's the 4th straight win. They beat the Cincinnati Bearcats. And it's their 4th straight win over the Bearcats. And they denied the Bearcats the opportunity to clinch a bowl eligibility. And Noah Brown said after we've had a couple of weeks, we've got some breaks today, and they took advantage of it. And basically the field position helped West Virginia seal the game in the 4th quarter after the Bearcats led 24-21. There was a return. They returned the ensuing kickoff to the Mountaineers' 49-yard line. Despite a 3-and-out, punter Oliver Straw was able to pin the Bearcats at their own 6-yard line. That set up Bradley Jr.'s fumble for return for a touchdown, and that gave the Mountaineers the win. So their next game is at home Saturday versus Baylor. So they're playing well. They were on that losing streak, and everybody was calling for Noah Brown's head as the head coach. And now he's back in the graces, and he's got 2 wins in a row. All right, so I just want to mention Pitt basketball, the Pitt Panthers men's basketball team in the NCAA. As I mentioned last week, they were back at it. And right now they have a 3-0 record with wins over Radford, Murray State, and Gardner-Webb. And these games were all at home. But the story for them so far is a player named Ishmael Leggett. And he's been either the leading scorer or the second leading scorer in every game so far. And his last game versus Gardner-Webb was just a stat sheet stuffer, as they would say. He had 31 minutes played, 21 points, 7 for 9 in field goals, 3 for 4 on 3-point field goals, 4 for 4 on free throws, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. His averages this year are 19 points, 19 rebounds, 2 assists, and 65% shooting. Now, Ishmael Leggett, if you remember, he was named the ACC's Six-Man Year of the Award last year, where he was coming off the bench. And Pitt was 1 game away from the ACC championship last year. So they are off to a pretty good start. They got off to a bad start last year. So we're gonna track them all year. like I mentioned in my last show, I believe they can make the NCAA tournament for this season. All right. I'll do the Penguins real quick, and then we're going to take a break, and we're going to get into Mr. Paul Skeens. Our Penguins are, I don't know, things are going out there, and as you can see, I put here in the box, the Pittsburgh Penguins season in doubt. Sidney Crosby owns the NHL face-off wins record. So let's get into the Penguins. As of today, right now, they are 6-9-2. I believe they're playing Columbus right now. I don't have a score for you. They are 7th in the Metro. Their losses were to the New York Islanders way back. I think when I did my last show, they blew a 3-1 lead. They lost in overtime. They went out. They lost at Carolina 5-1. They beat Washington, which happened to be a weekend where the Penguins won Saturday night. The Steelers won Sunday afternoon. So they were razzing the Washington fans in both sports that Pittsburgh packed them. That was the thing I saw. Pittsburgh packed Washington, whatever that means. They lost to Dallas 7-1. And this game, oh my God, this summed up the season for them right here. 6 goals allowed in the first 15 minutes. Malkin, and he did this last year. Remember, he did this last year. He issued an apology to the organization's fans for their performance. I mean, we were only like 15 games in. Oh, I got an update on the score. It's 3-2 Columbus at the end of 2. Thanks, Adam. Adam, by the way, is our hockey show host, too. He's got a Chicago show, and he does the Neutral Zone. Hey, Adam, I don't know if you ever heard my saying for you and Zach. When we were on Spreaker, I used to talk about your show, and I used to say, watch, because you guys followed me on Tuesday. I used to say, make sure you take in their show because those guys are never offsides. Goal differential of -22 so far. Not a good start for the Pens. Yes, agreed. And I'm gonna talk about that too, as I have some notes on that. So, like I was saying, Malkin had to apologize to the organization for their performance. This is insane. We're not even a quarter of the way into the season, I don't think. Then November 12th came, and the GM for the Penguins comes out. The president, Kyle Dubas, president of operation, GM he's ready to shake up the roster, making it clear to other NHL teams that everyone on the Penguins roster is available for trade except Sidney Crosby. I mean, how do you come out and say something like that in the Let's bring me back to the Pirates with the Pirates coaching staff and management. I don't know if they get it out there in Pittsburgh for hockey and baseball. And the Penguins are a proud hockey franchise. I mean, and so are the Pirates. But I mean, we got to look into the GMs and the operations going on out there. The milestone note, as we seem to be doing every week here on the Yinzer Report, Sidney Crosby has now won the most faceoffs in NHL history, breaking the record of 14,838, passing Patrice Bergeron. He can now be crowned the king of the dot. That means he's winning faceoffs. There was a trade by the Penguins, so obviously the president wasn't kidding. Penguins traded Lars Eller to the Washington Capitals for a 2025th round pick and a 2027 third-round draft pick. Now, backing up on Adams over here, what's Adams saying here? Gold diff, I read that. LOL, I like that. We may be off the wall, but never offside. That's what I mean. I say you guys are never offsides. I love it. That is a great show. The Penguins have Adam, here's what you're talking about, the -22. The Penguins have allowed a league-leading 69 goals through 18 games this season and have a team save percentage of .883. You don't have to be a genius to figure out that goal save percentage there, even if you're not a hockey fan. I put down some goalie notes here where I think Tristan Jarry, the main goalie for the Penguins, I think he's lost it because he was sent to the minors. He's back up now. Nedeljkovic is a career backup goalie, although he was playing well last year. And the young kid, Bloomquist, I think he needs a little more time in the AHL. So, but watching Penguin games, I will say, it's not all on the goalie. I would say the problem is the defense, because games that I've watched, I didn't see any defense being played. So, we'll have to see what happens. I have a feeling there's going to be a fire sale in Pittsburgh. And like I said at the beginning, are they waving the proverbial hockey terrible towel in Pittsburgh on the season? That would be a sin. All right. So we're done with the Penguins. Let me take a break, and I'm going to come back, and we're going to talk about our Pittsburgh Pirates phenom pitcher, Paul Skeens. He is a finalist for 2 awards coming up, and I got some good things on it, and I'll be right back, and we'll go over all that.
Hey yo, what's up? It's your man Bishop, the voice of This Is KC Sports, the show where we go over the Chiefs, the Royals, KC Current, Sporting KC, MU, and oh yeah, if we got time, we'll even throw in some of that KU stuff for my people on the 913 South. Come and hang out with us every Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, sports fans. It's me, your boy Larry B, and I want to walk you through the world of sports. No, not just the mainstream major TV deal type sports, although those are important too. But let me be your guide through your journey of all sports, from college to the pros, the minors, and everything in between. Each week, we are talking sports galore with true diehards just like you from a hardcore fan's perspective that's sure to quench your thirst around leagues you may know all too well and some you may even discover here. That's right, sports fans. If you love sports of all kinds, enjoy hearing amazing sports stories, and respect all sports because you know how difficult any of them can be to play or compete in, then this is your show. Join me, your boy Larry B, on the defining moment each week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, and let the sports come to you.
All right, welcome back. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And it is now time to talk about, as I have written in the box there, Paul Skeens, rookie phenom, most appointment watch TV. He is a finalist for the National League Rookie of the Year and the National League Cy Young Award winner. Now, this is a pretty amazing accomplishment. Both. He's in 2 categories. How many will he win? Like I said at the beginning, he may win 1. He may win both. He may win none. So, Paul Skeens, as we all know, he came up he pitched for the Pirates this year, and he was an instant icon in Pittsburgh. I'm going to call him an icon because that's what he was. And like I deemed him on the show in the summer, Must Appointment Watch TV. He just had he came up in May, and he just took Pittsburgh by storm. I really don't think there's been a player in Pittsburgh that took them by storm for a while, and he came up and he did it. Let's just go through some things that he did. He was the All-Star Game starter. He pitched a 1-2-3 inning in the first inning. He retired Juan Soto and Aaron Judge back to back. Like I mentioned, he's an NL Rookie of the Year finalist. He's going up against the Padres' Jackson Merrill, the Brewers' Jackson Churio, and he is an NL Cy Young finalist. He's going up against Chris Sale, and he's going up against Zach Wheeler. So those are 2 tough pitches. I'll get into it at the end. Last night he was announced to the All Major League Baseball first team in his first Major League season. That's some accomplishment. He had a great rookie season. He is an entry and finalist for 2 Major League Baseball categories in his first season in MLB, and his season started in May 2024, and it was May 11th, 2024 was his first start. Adam Connick, the Cubs offense should get an honorary mention when Skeens wins the NL Rookie of the Year. Yes, I think I think his best games were versus the Cubs. Were the Cubs the team he had the no-hitter against, and they took him out? I did a show on that. I was flipping out. I believe it was the Cubs. It was the Cubs or the Cardinals. It was one of them. Like I said, you had a great rookie season. Some things to note, but now about being a finalist. I found this very interesting. I dug this up today. For Rookie of the Year, if he finishes in the top 2 in the voting, he will be credited with a full year of MLB service instead of the partial year that he played. So if he wins the Rookie of the Year, that's going to come to fruition. And if he finishes second, that'll come to fruition. If he finishes third, he may be available to try to be rookie or get some kind of award for Rookie of the Year. But I don't see that happen because, in my opinion, I think that's the award he's going to win. He's going to win the Rookie of the Year award. I don't think he's going to win the Cy Young award. He didn't have. There was a couple of things he didn't have enough. He didn't have enough innings pitched. And and that also qualifies for the ERA, not having enough innings pitched. Adam said literally every time the Cubs and Pirates played this year, Skeens pitched in the series. Yeah, it was like they lined him up versus the Cubs every time he pitched. That is correct. And Mary Shea says, congrats to Skeens. Well, we're not congratulating yet. We're congratulating him on his accomplishments, but we need him to win. We need him to win one of these. Now, this is the other thing about the Pirates. The Pirates could have received an extra draft pick for Skeens' top 5, being a top 5 Cy Young finish, but they are ineligible for that because he wasn't on the team's opening day roster. Typical Pirates, still losing, and the season is over. They would have started the guy at the beginning of the year. They would have had an extra pick, and that's not happening. So my outlook on this is like I said, I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. And back when I did a show, I believe I was still on Spreaker. It was just before I came on StreamYard. And I was at a casino out in Pennsylvania, and I did my betting very, safely and coordinately with the gentleman who was in the chat earlier, Mr. Ray Mann. And we put a nice amount of money on Mr. Paul Skeens to win the Cy Young Award. There he is. Let's go, Skeens. Yes, sir. Well, he made it as a finalist, so if he could pull this one off, I don't see him winning the Cy Young, but I see him winning the Rookie of the Year. I see him winning Rookie of the Year because he did some things that were insane. And Jackson Merrill, he kind of picked it up towards the end of the year. He had a lot of game-winning hits, game-winning homers, and he had some nice stats to finish out his Rookie of the Year. But I don't see the Brewers' Jackson Churio winning it. Notice how both guys' names that he's up against, first name is Jackson. So we'll see. He's got a tough way to go there versus Chris Sale and Zach Wheeler. I actually think Zach Wheeler might win it. I think either one of those two could really win it. But if he upsets those two and wins the Cy Young Award, let's just put it this way: me and Mr. Ray Mann are going to be renting a limo to go somewhere. But we betted accordingly. We betted safely. Just keep that in mind, everybody. Always bet safely. So that's coming up. I think Monday is the Rookie of the Year announcement. Hold on, let's take a drink of water here. Throat's drying up. And Wednesday is the Cy Young Award. Yeah, Danny, I don't know. I almost lost my voice there. Wednesday is the Cy Young Award announcement, and the Rookie of the Year is Monday. So hopefully he wins Monday. If he wins Monday, I'm back on the air on Tuesday. So I'll have to get out to the IE Sports Radio Publications office there. Make sure they put my show on for Tuesday. But this was fun. And hopefully Paul Skeens wins the Rookie of the Year. We can talk about it some more. So bet whatever you're willing to lose. Yeah, that's a good old saying. I will say this, Adam. The bet I put on him, I couldn't place the bet completely. They wouldn't take the amount I wanted to bet on him. So we'll see what happens. But this was fun. I had fun doing this on a night show. It was fun. I thank IE Sports Radio for giving me the opportunity to do this show here at this time slot. And we'll see what happens. Big game Sunday. Steelers coming in Sunday. Animal out there. I just hope you understand it. And we'll see what happens. We're at home. TJ Watt, by the way, I forgot to mention, he has the most sacks on Lamar Jackson in the NFL. So keep that in mind. He got a sick crew cut this week. Go on social media. They got it all over social media. You got to see the haircut he got. So he's ready. And, full schemes Monday night. We'll see what happens. We'll get back to hopefully the Penguins turn things around, and we got the college football. So everybody in the chat, thank you very much. Adam, great job. Enjoyed the show. Thank you, sir. Love your work as well. You know that. Danny, man, thank you very much for all you do for me on the Yinzer Report. You're like my editing manager. He knows what I'm talking about. Mary, thank you. Ray, thank you. Adam again. Danny, Big Mike, thank you very much. I thank all you guys. Terran, especially Terran, thank you for the shout out earlier. All right, guys, this is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all of the sports. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your weekend. Let's go Steelers. And I'll be back on the air Tuesday at my regular time slot at 5 o'clock. Take care, guys.